Okay, so you guys have already just seen me finally get the new Farmer Race Pearl. But in my part of the timeline, I had a really rough time, so I'm taking a break. Taking a break in between. First thing we're doing is we're gonna see this echo because I actually have enough on my meter. I think this is the one new one. Strange. Something still draws me here, even after all this time. The weather is so different now, but the fields... I do not need eyes to know that the grasses still sway gently in the winds. To have grasped at the boundless infinities of the cosmic void... There's a void again. Yet here I am contemplating these same fields as I once did, talking to some sort of rodent. I'm a slug cat, excuse you. Neither of which is particularly... Did Fun Rebels also call me something like that, or did you just say, like, a little creature? I forget. Huh. Yeah, I think that might be the one of these echoes that I haven't seen before. So that's a funny one, obviously, because they're just like some sort of creature that just happens to be here. Weird. Which I feel like is kind of the normal response to just seeing some little thing showing up and going, hey, what you got to say to me? Ah! What a jerk. I've done nothing to you guys except occasionally use you to get across gaps. I don't think I've even gotten a single one of you killed in this playthrough. I could be wrong. Might have gotten some of you guys killed in, like, ones where I died, but I feel like those shouldn't count, because I also died. But I don't know. Anyway. The phrasing of, like, talking about, like, the implication I'm getting off of that is, like, the same thing about being stuck about ascending, but also, like, they talk about the void thing again, which we know from the one previous Pearl is what the place where you go at the end of the game is called. So I guess that kind of implies that these echoes that are stuck or whatever at least got to that part of Ascension. And then something happened. I wonder if the iterators know at all about the echoes existing. Because I could buy whatever. I could buy any interpretation of that, really. Let me out! Let me out! Ah! Probably not supposed to get that, but I'm not going to do that right now. But yeah, I just don't know. Yeah? I mean, I know the one other one that was talking about, like, its body was like, yeah, they did the regular, like, funeral procession thing that we ancients usually do. But this one has the more definitive, yeah, we get in the Void Sea. I was in the Void Sea. But, yeah, so... Not a lot of new information, but... certainly the interest of that. Also, just thinking about this area is like, this is a farming area. What are they farming? Of the stuff that's left here. Is it the grass that eats you? hope not. Okay, that took like 300 years, but here we go. Yeah. Void Sea. Confirmed a thing. The ancients are stuck after what they do, whatever happened with the normal ascension. Or, the echoes are at least. Don't know about all the ancients, because we only see, 5 echoes over the course of this whole thing, so... It's unclear how representative of a sample they are. Is this just, okay, there's only a few echoes that get stuck like this? Do you want me to get off? Okay. Or they're are there a whole lot of ancients stuck? I don't like this noise. I don't like this noise. Somebody's gonna swoop down and try and eat me. Okay, no, it's just regular music. Good. Alright. Hello, reindeer. Would you come and meet me? I don't want to risk getting eaten. I'm gonna stay here. But yeah, how many ancients have become echoes? Also, why? Is this just okay, with so many of them doing this, is it just something that happens, or is there something going wrong now? Unclear, we don't know. I would like to know, but not necessarily a luxury always afforded to me. Hello. Yep. Okay, let's go. Go, 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 go. They're so cute, and it's a very cool concept, but the programming is so... They're kind of difficult. The reindeer. Hello, other reindeer! You're not gonna get stuck on each other now, are you? That'd be very sad. I'm also tempted to jump from one to the other. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. Okay, you gonna move? Yay! Let's go! So yeah, as I've mentioned before, right now we're kind of taking a mid-attempt to get the Farmer Ray's new Pearl break, with the plan being, obviously I got the Farmer Ray's Echo, and now we're headed to Subterranean to get that Echo, to get that first Pearl, and then we're gonna warp back to Looks to the Moon, and we're gonna do the planned 3 more pearls, read those. Depending on how I'm feeling, I might attempt to grab... then I'll go back for the last 2 pearls, aka the second Subterranean Pearl, and more attempts at this Farmer Ray's Pearl. But after that I will only just have, right now I've got 3 pearls left. But after I get this the Subterranean one, which should be pretty easy, it's just getting there that's really the issue. But then I'll just have 2 pearls left. We'll grab those, and then we'll read the last 3 of the pearls. And then I guess we're done? Technically the whole point of this kind of, run is just, okay, I want to read all the pearls for getting all that lore. Although I've also been questioning now, it's like, do I just go for the endings on Monk and Survivor and just kind of just skip to the cutscene parts of those just so I can get another look at them? Maybe? We'll see, we've got some time for that one. Ooh. Not used to this music. This is cool music. This game does have a really cool soundtrack. Hello! Don't eat me. Thank you. Oh, there's like 4 of you guys, huh? Ah! Huh. Like, no, okay, this one's chasing me, this one's chasing me. I was gonna say, oh, look, they've all ignored me. That one was kind of bothering me. That one's still a threat. This was a bad decision from me. Ah, 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 ah. Can you climb all the way up? No, but you're certainly not happy about it. Alright, now get out of my way. That's right, keep going. No! And now it's camping. That's right, you're gonna forget all about me, and I'm just gonna sneak right on past. Boop. Goodbye. But yeah, I'm certainly going to be busy with this for a longer while just because of the fact of, oh boy, I get to do... It's probably going to take me a bit of a while more to do the Farmer Race Pro, but overall, I don't have that much left. We don't have that much left. I mean, like I said, we've got 6 more pearls, but we've got half of them already. Alright, let's... Yes. Yes! Okay, now please just don't get stuck on each other. Because they like to do that. Don't sit on... They like to sit on each other sometimes. It's great, especially when they're in the middle of the grass that eats you. And sometimes they just kind of get stuck because of the grass that eats you. Look at that. That big old cool scavenger decorated thing. Are you stuck? They move so weird. You know, I did pause it at one point wondering whether it was these guys' heads that were the scavenger things and not the bone masks. I don't really know. They just look a little too different, but that could be artistic liberties. You know, something else I don't think I've really talked about is, like, the graffiti on the walls in this game. I feel like that's probably something that might be useful to kind of, like, pay attention to. I never do. I don't know, it's neat. But in terms of, like, trying to analyze it in the background stuff for the sake of understanding any of that stuff, I have not done any of that. Like, presumably that's all stuff the ancients have drawn, so that should say some stuff about them. Maybe in the future. Also, I find it very something, I guess, that the fact that this, I mean, I guess that's just kind of like a because they want it to be able to do it in general, but the fact that it is technically a two-way gate up for this one, when it's just a sheer drop, that it's a choice in design-wise. Where I'm like, I don't think you physically... Like, even with my, like, cheatsies wall climbing ability, I don't know if I could get back up through this gate. But you have the ability to, if you could, somehow. I don't know. Which was another thing I know when I was looking at it initially, like, trying to connect all the areas and going, oh yeah, this one is this one. I was like, oh yeah, Farm isn't that far from Looks to the Moon, because Subterranean connects directly to Shoreline, which connects to Farm and I was like, wait. Yeah, it connects to Farm if you're trying to go up through the gate, which isn't really super duper possible. In this hole! Let's get the last of the echoes. Hi. A little beast. But not as dim as the rest, perhaps. Okay, rude, but sure. So down into the depths you go, as many others before you, drawn to the void again and again, an endless drip, drip, drip. Much like these tunnels and caves that amuse me so, the bones of forgotten civilizations heaped like so many sticks. Did they dig too deep or not deep enough? Fools, we were right to drill straight through them! Oh. Wow. They're like, oh yeah, philosophical. Nah. Huh. So there's stuff that was there before the ancients? Or are the echoes not ancients and they're something else? Now, is that my consideration here? And also talking about the, like, many creatures before me. Are you just talking about the ancients, or are you talking about something else? Because, like, the way everything is... It seems like the fact that... Well, again, this is just going off of... If we're going off of Five Pebbles, as far as Five Pebbles is aware, there's no real answer that's been found yet, except for the slug cats, and Survivor should be the very first one of these. Okay. No! Ah! Well, I fucked that one up. But... So it's entirely possible that some other iterator found a way for some other creatures to make it to the Void Sea. But I don't know. Or again, are they just talking about the other ancients? But the fact that it's like, okay, there's also other civilizations, so again... I mean, the way that especially, like, the other Echo, the last one we just talked about, oh yeah, nostalgia about the farms and stuff, kind of seems like this is, those are the ancients, because they're talking about stuff that was their civilization. Yeah. Yep. Let me up. God damn it. Oh. I've never had this much problem getting this pearl. I never had this much problem getting the pearl last time. I just got it. Alright, got it next try. Okay. Let's not die and fall in the death. Okay. This is what I get. This is what I get for having called this an easy one, huh? The game said, oh. You think this one's easy? Try missing it a couple times now. I said, no. Please. Alright. Go, 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 go. That sounded like a big centipede. I hate the big centipede. Scary. Oh, hi, scavenger. I'm leaving now. Okay. But it's still a lot less work than a lot of these other guys, so passage time! Ooh, this is a scholar one, isn't it? Nope. Nope, it's Wanderer. Nice. It's a very pretty... They're all very pretty. I like the different floating islands. Alright, so we're starting with the repeat farm arrays one. It's you, little archaeologist. Hello. Hi, I brought you pearls. I brought lore. Yeah. Oh, should I look at that? This one is just plain text. I will read it to you. On regards of thee, by the spiritual splendor eternally graced, people of the congregation of never-dwindling righteousness, we wish to congratulate, oh so thankfully, this facility on its loyal and relished services, and to offer our hopes and aspirations that the fruitful and mutually satisfactory cooperation may continue, for as long as the stars stay fixed on their celestial spheres, and or the cooperation continues to be fruitful and mutually satisfactory. The ancients are so extra. It's like, as long as the stars stay fixed, stars exist, or until this stuff stops working. Is with honor I, 8 sons, countless leaves, of the house of 6 wagons, count of no living blocks, counselor of 2, duke of 1, humble secretary of the congregation of never-dwindling righteousness, write this to you. I feel like the one from Memory Crypt's Shaded Citadel also, I mean, they had the name, it had the whatever house. They also talked about the count of whatever. I feel like the counselor was also another thing that they mentioned. Possibly not the Duke part. I know that the other one mentioned about, like, mother, father, and parent or whatever. So it feels like it's relatively common for the ancients to be like, yes, let me talk about myself, like, name, and also, like, house, which I'm guessing is kind of like their version of, like, a familial thing, and then talking about their other stuff. You know, their accomplishments! Like the previous pearl we were talking about, oh yeah! Being accomplished is good, but striving to accomplish is bad. Messed up society. Yay! Of no living blocks. We hope that the crops are healthy, and that the productivity with which your facility is blessed leads, as it often does, to further prosperity. May not, as long as the stars stay fixed on their celestial spheres, gray hand, impure blood, inheritable corruption, parasites or malfunctions settle in your establishment. Is gray hand like what's the opposite of a green thumb? A black thumb? Impure blood. Inheritable corruption. Once again, terms that I'm like, I don't know what this feel like this is an important thing in their, like, societal stuff, but I don't know what it necessarily means, other than maybe, like, you know, genetic issues. Okay, basically, I hope nothing bad happens to you. Leaning on the solid foundation of our long-running, fruitful, and mutually satisfactory cooperation, We will take the liberty of stating the reason for this message. All of that was just some preamble. Now on to the amble. We write to warmly thank you for yet another timely and appreciated delivery of your product, nectar, to our community, congregation of never-dwindling righteousness. Our humble words can never aspire to describe our gratitude. Thanks for sending us some juice. Sincerely, and then the name and titles again. It's a confirmation to an automated farming plot that a shipment of beverages have arrived. Oh, I remembered part of the punchline. I forgot the part about the automated. That's a good one. It's very funny. So I'm a little bit torn here about exactly which ones I want to read next. But so this one, mostly just kind of, here's some more flavor and stuff about how the ancients interact and the fact that they're so wild in terms of their actions. But yeah, it's one of those prose where it's fun, and it's like, okay, yeah, there's some neat stuff in there. So my current thought is, I'm gonna read the other of Sky Island's Pearls. 'Cause I'm not sure if this is gonna be another repeat, or if it's gonna be different like the other one. So I'm gonna look at this one, and depending on what happens here is gonna affect, like, which of the other two remaining new pearls, by new I mean, unread in this session, I'm gonna pick up. So let's see what happens. Hi, Moon. A gift for me, little archaeologist. The scavengers must be jealous of you finding all these. This one is an old conversation between Five Pebbles and a friend of his. I'll read it to you. Okay, so this is, if I'm right, because this is an intro is something I've seen before on one of the other pearls from last time. So maybe it's just the one that's different? That would be really weird, but because it should be the 7 red suns. Yeah, private, 5 pebbles, 7 red suns. 5 pebbles, can I tell you something? Lately, I'm tired of trying and angry that they left us here. The anger makes me even less inclined to solve the puzzle for them. Why do we do this? Yeah, like, and let me, like, this is the thing about 5 pebbles that I'm like, yeah, like, I have a lot of fun here making fun of 5 pebbles and their stuff and whatever, but, like, also, the situation sucks for him. And, like, he's not wrong to be upset about this stuff. And I can totally get the thing of, like, this, like, we're not getting anywhere. And they just, as you said, they left us here, so angry that they left us here. So I'm assuming, I would assume that this means at this part in the timeline that this is a point after, like, all the ancients up and left the iterators. Is what it seems like. So that's a crucial piece of the dialogue. But yeah. Why do we do this? Seven red suns? Yes, I'll spell this out. Not because you're stupid or naive. Also not saying you're not. They're also, like, 7 red suns, they're a little, like, this line is just like, not because you're stupid, but I'm not saying you're not, they're just a little shit, and I do love that about them. 5 Pebbles, please. I'm coming to you for guidance. 7 Red Suns. Sorry, very sorry, I kid. Fact is, of course, we are all aware of the evident futility of this big task. It's not said out loud, but if you were better at reading between the lines, there's nowhere you wouldn't see it. We're all frustrated. Which is also, like, if you were better at reading between the lines, like, is that true, or is that something you're saying to 5 Pebbles? Because, like, that's also assuming that that's true, an interesting piece of characterization for 5 Pebbles. Like, But I mean, it would make sense, though, that, like, especially if it's been a while, like, all the iterators are like, yeah, this is kind of an impossible task, and we're just kind of stuck here because the ancients are all gone, and what are we gonna do about it? We don't really have anything built into us to do anything different, because we were never designed to do anything different. And the ancients just said, that's your problem! Bye, kids! 5 Pebbles. So why do we continue? We assemble work groups, we ponder, we iterate and try. Some of us die. It's not fair. Yeah. 7 Red Suns. Because there's not any options. What else can we do? You're stuck in your can, and at any moment you have no more than 2 alternatives. Do nothing, or work like you're supposed to. Which, I think I said initially, is like, I mean, obviously they're stuck, but like, okay, you do nothing or you do your work. 5 Pebbles at the very least, with his experiments, seems to have, found some other stuff to, like, okay, I'm gonna go here and find the third option of doing something else. Working on different projects. An analogy. You have a maze and you have a handful of bugs. You put the bugs in the maze and you leave. Given it infinite time, one of the bugs will find a way out if they just erratically try. This is why they called us iterators. Which again, I remember saying the first time, it's like, there's a lot of issues with that as a point of view. And, I mean, to clarify to start with, I don't think this is necessarily bad either. Because it's just like, either as in the jellyfish analogy, which is not how, at least in our world, that works. But, because logistically I'm like, depending on the bugs and depending on the maze, I mean, the thing is that, presumably, the maze that you made for these bugs has a solution, has an ending. And, at least as far as the information that the game has given me thus far, there doesn't seem to be anything that's sitting here guaranteeing that there is in fact an answer for how can everything apart from the ancients ascend. And there certainly is, at least we have the confirmation of there's an answer for the slug cats, because that's the endings, at least for Monk and Survivor. But the 7 Red Suns and the other iterators, do they know that there is an answer and they just have to figure it out? Because if there isn't, then this is a pretty bad analogy, because if you put a bunch of bugs in a maze and the bugs are supposed to be aware that there's an ending, but actually the maze is just all sealed off and there's no exit point, then it's impossible for the bugs to win at the maze. Outside of the possibility of, the bugs, breaking things, somehow breaking or, destroying bits of the maze to get out in a way that was never intended. Which I suppose you might be able to put in the analogy of, like, the stuff Five Pebbles and potentially other iterators are doing in terms of the taboo breaking, but that's still, the maze part is the thing is, okay, you're still getting out of the maze. I don't know if that analogy still works in terms of, okay, but you're playing by different rules, and you can then make this work. There's the question of, is it possible even if you do other stuff? I don't know. And also just, I've said before about the fact of, even if there is an answer, what's the guarantee you're gonna find it? Yes, given infinite time, but like, with the, the monkeys typing on the infinite monkeys typing on infinite keyboards will eventually type out word for word, perfectly grammatically, the complete works of William Shakespeare, blah, 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 blah. But the thing is, this analogy at least, it's just infinite time. It's not infinite bugs. And it's infinite, sure, I put a bunch of bugs in a maze. Most mazes that, like, a person's gonna make for, like, a regular experiment, yeah, time-wise, that's gonna work. But, like, let's say I make a maze the size of, like, a continent and put the bugs in there. Yeah, the bugs have however much time they want. But also they're bugs. So the possibility that the bugs all just die before they can reach the ending because it's just too difficult for them to get there. Like, the iterators can die, and the possibility that just, okay, there is an answer, but either because it's too difficult or they're just by chance they don't get to it. There is the possibility that all of them could die before they get the answer. I don't know why I'm quibbling with this so much, because it doesn't really matter, because this is more of a thing of, like, I think this is supposed to be more of a characterization thing than a logistics thing, but it's just how my brain works that I'm like, hold on, let me... I'm seeing a very specific point of reasoning, and because I'm trying to pick apart the lore in general, I'm like, this really doesn't matter. This is more about how Seven Red Suns is seeing this than what it actually means, I guess. But I'm just saying I disagree with them, I guess. Where it's like, yeah, this could be true, but it could also not be. 5 pebbles, but we do die of old age. Seven Red Suns, even more incentive! You know that nothing ever truly dies, though. Around and around it goes. Granted, our tools and resources get worse over time, but that is theoretically unproblematic, because in time, even a minuscule chance will strike a positive. All the same to them, they're not around anymore. Yeah. All the same to them, they're not around it. Oh, right. That reminds me of something else I was thinking of the Miller rant, but, like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter to the ancients whether or not we succeed, because it's not their problem. They're already ascended. And just the fact of, first of all, just that in general, the fact that the ancients are like, anyway, bye, it's your problem, we don't really care anymore. We don't care about you. But also the fact that, like, because the iterators weren't designed to transcend, it's also pretty fucked up. It's extra fucked up that the ancients just left because, like, even if the iterators do eventually find a solution for every single other living thing to ascend and then implement it, and it works, there's still no way for the iterators to... So then you just left the iterators completely alone in a world where, like, everybody's ascended. Nothing's left but them. And they're just stuck in this cycle forever. Which, back to my questioning thing about, like, okay, this is, this is another one like that one Pearl, I think the one from the Outskirts, where it talks about, like, yeah, you can die, but you don't escape the cycle by dying. Where I still have questions about, yes, but I mean, how does that actually work logistically specifically with the incident of Sliver of Straw? Because she died, and from everything we've seen, she hasn't exactly come back, so what does that mean for the whole thing? I don't know about that part, but, like, the fact of nothing ever truly dies and around. I mean, the way Seven Red Suns says that makes it seem like, oh yeah, even if you die as an iterator, you're gonna come back. Yeah, we're just going back to that part of logistics where it's like, I don't quite understand what the lore is trying to say there, because it seems a little bit contradictory to my understanding of it, but... Because, I mean, my quibble about, oh yeah, the iterators die, so eventually you could run out of them. The way it seems like their reasoning is that, like, we lose out on resources, but we're never actually at all going to die out because of the whole cycle of, I don't know. And again, theoretically unproblematic because even in time, a minuscule chance, like, if they really truly, like, aren't all ever going to die out, then yes, I will agree with Seven of Red Suns that given infinite time, a bunch of immortal iterators who are still motivated to keep going at the finding out the solution, assuming a solution exists, will find it. So in that case, I do agree with them, but it's just some of the lore stuff that I feel like I don't quite understand exactly what it means and how it works. Yeah, I don't know. I don't quite understand this lore. Five Pebbles, oh yeah. I struggle to accept being a bug. Which is honestly one of my more favorite lines that he has, because it's just the existential bits of all that is really something. Like, especially the first time I read it, it kind of hit me in a similar way to to Looks to the Moon's I Know I Have Tried Very Hard. Not quite in the same way, but just the fact that Five Pebbles is like, yeah, I'm just this little experiment creature and whatever, that's like, yeah, that's rough. I understand why you're like that. And why, and like, because as I said before, I understand why like, I can see that the game does do a very good job of showing very clearly, okay, how did Five Pebbles get to where he sort of is in the game? It's like, yeah, that's a reasonable kind of descent to have, and it's rough, because, oof. So yeah, that one's the same. I don't know why just one of them was different. I might look that up when I'm done with this session, just to see what's going on. At the very least, I'm gonna look at the one that was different from my screenshots, and I guess I'll read that and look at it, but yeah. Well, since those are both repeats, we're gonna try and get the new one. From Looks to the Moon, I guess, so I'll get back to y'all once I've found that one. Okay, so this is a pink one. We're gonna see if it's a Farmer Raised one or not. Oh, of course I'll take a look. Ooh! Ooh! Okay, this is the new one. This is the Books of the Moon one. It is the genome for a purposed organism. A small slug to clean the insides of pipes. Okay. Do you know what a purposed organism is? Actually, you're talking to one right now. Oh. So, like, you know, designed to do something specific as opposed to just kind of existing. Oh no. Oh no. I don't like where this is going. This is gonna get real, like, existential and heavy and whatever about this stuff, isn't it? Maybe not. We'll see. Although a small fraction of one. Nowadays I am mostly just my puppet. The bulk of me is... Oh... I know I've said that before about the robot bodies just being puppets for the larger thing, but just... This is the first time that anything's really confirmed that, you know? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, it got rough and I haven't even read this whole thing yet. The bulk of me is in these walls, but I am disconnected from those parts to a degree where I'm only vaguely aware of how bad their condition is. Yeah, I mean, the thing before was saying, like, being neutered and having your umbilical cut, like, they just don't have the connection to most of their memory and processing power and everything anymore. Rough. Most purposed organisms were considerably smaller than me, and most barely looked like organisms at all. More like tubes in metal boxes, where something went in one end and something else came out the other. Interesting. Most barely looked like organisms at all, which is interesting because until I started reading the lore stuff, I would not have classified the iterators as being organic at all, but apparently they are, you know, they have organic components. Tubes and metal boxes. Okay, so I don't know if I'm supposed to interpret that as being something else I've seen, because I don't necessarily think so, but yeah, that makes sense. Most of them barely look like organisms at all. There were, of course, those that were purposed for spectacle rather than industry. They enjoyed the privilege of glass boxes. Oh. That's rough. Like, okay, instead of metal, it's glass because we want to look at whatever's going on in there. And that's also a privilege for them because they're not just... They have some view of the outside world, which... The iterators by themselves don't. It's only with their overseers that that they really seem to have the privilege of seeing anything outside of their puppets' boxes. Presuming that none of the rest of their stuff has any, like, optical things, which I don't know if it's true, but I would guess. When I came into this world, there is very little primal fauna left. So it's highly likely you are the descendant of a purposed organism yourself! Oh! 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 I think I said something at the very beginning of playing this, where we were looking at the intro cutscene stuff, and I'm like, even in here everything seems kind of artificial. So it makes sense that... Okay. Yeah, they were designed for stuff. Which... The images of the little brains... Specifically, like... I mean, the one with 5 pebbles just makes sense as like, okay, he's scanning whatever's going on with us. Although it makes me wonder now whether or not it's... 5 Pebbles happen to have something in, like, a database or something where it's like, oh, yeah, it's related to these things. But the fact that there's also that with Looks to the Moon that the Overseer shows, in with some of the, hey, get Looks to the Moon, they're neurons pictures, makes me wonder more about that. And also the fact of, so are the scavengers also purposed organisms that were related but branching? Or are the scavengers some of the very little primal fauna left and that's why they're like that? Hmm. Also one. Huh. Okay, less devastating than I was than I was than I was hoping for, than I was expecting, but still, that's something to think about. Well, I'm not in a little box or anything, so what were my ancestors made for? And is the purpose stuff just by the ancients, or is it by the civilizations older than them? I don't know. So yeah, like I said, I'll look at the Sky Island stuff that's left. That to see if there's anything, whatever's going on with those, and then we'll go for the last two pearls and read those and kind of go from there. It's interesting how much it's like. I feel like I'm definitely learning some more stuff, but there's so much more that I'm still questioning. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how much we get with those last bits of lore. In next time. I'll see you later. Bye.